Alright, as a first group, we'd like to say thank you guys for coming out. We appreciate you guys coming to score us today. My name is Jordan Frank. These are my co-founders.
Okay.
And we're going to present you our product, SlideStop, today.
Workplace accidents happen around the U.S. every single day. In fact, slip, trips, and falls account for over $16 billion in workplace injuries. We have a solution, and that solution is SlideStop. This is an ordinary slip-resistant shoe. You can either buy this shoe for $50 or you can purchase SlideStop for $20, which is a $30 price drop. And the main complaints that people have when they buy a new slip-resistant shoe is either the appearance, like it doesn't look fashionable, or they complain about their feet hurting. With SlideStop, you can apply it to a shoe that you already have. That way you'll be comfortable with how it looks and how it feels on your feet because you'll be used to it. This is our ideal customer. She's likely in our age range of 16 to 25. And people that age are mainly fashion focused, which is a high selling point in our product.
Alright, so SlideStop is just it's a universal slip resistant tread that can go on the bottom of any everyday shoe. Like the shoe that you see in this picture is this Converse right here. And we have applied the thin black tread on the bottom of it, SlideStop. Alright, we have three main competitors. Our first competitor is CrewGuard. Our second competitor will be the Black Tag Express. And our third competitor will be Shoes for Crews. CrewGuard makes a rubber overshoe that can fit universally to any shoe, but oftentimes customers have complained about it not fitting well, and it feels clumsy on their shoe. And as you can see, it takes away from the look of the shoe. Black Tag Express makes a non-slip resistant rubber sole for women's shoes only. And that's where they fall short. It looks fine and everything, but it's just for women's shoes. And Shoes for Crews is probably our most direct competitor, seeing how they are the leading manufacturer in slip resistant shoes. And they have been doing it for a very long time. Our unique value proposition is that we are a company that is revolutionizing work appropriate footwear for an affordable price.
Alright, in this slide we're going to start defining our market. The market we decided to go with to start, especially in our first year, is going to be our food service market. So we start off with a total addressable market of about 189.2 million. This is the total number of food service workers in the United States, and we cut that down to about 2.8 million. And this is the number of customers that's in our age range, that's 16 to 25. We think that our selling point is that it doesn't take away from the look of the shoe, so we have to find the market that's most fashion focused, and that tends to be the younger people. Our market share is going to be about 250,000 is our goal. This is about a 6% market penetration. We want to be optimistic but still realistic. So we tried to go for something a little bit less than 10%, and this is what we ended up with. And if we have a 75% conversion rate, they buy it twice a year. It's supposed to last around 6 months. Leaves us with $7.5 million in revenue. Our startup costs. We're going to start with the patent cost. We've done a little bit of research and find out that our product is probably going to be on the lower end of our patent cost because it's simple in design. The more complex the patent is, the higher the price is. We have a business license cost. This is just a little bit of local research about how much it would take to run a business if we were to start here in Blairsville. We have a small equipment cost of $400. This is going to be things like if we need to buy a printer to print out inserts, if we need to buy sealing tools for our packaging. We have a prototype cost. We put around $60 towards a prototype if we were to buy new shoes and things like that. $5,600 beginning stock. The price that we have now, it would take us buying 1,000 units of each. So that would leave us with 1,000 units total and a $5,600 cost, leaving us with $11,385. Our cost of goods sold is going to be the cost per unit that we have to expend. We're going to start with around $1.92 in adhesive. This is an estimate based on a 3M adhesive that we found. Our adhesive is most likely going to be a little bit different. The price is going to be a little bit different because the adhesive is different for each product. We have a $3 tread. This is kind of expensive, but to start, we're going to be having somebody make it for us. So it's always going to be a little bit more expensive than if we were to manufacture it. We have a $46 clamshell packaging. This is what we started with. We think our product will fit nicely in there. We could have our inserts and any sort of prints that we want to put in there, or directions. We have around a 2-cent ink cost. It's a low cost, and that would just be things like printing out directions or things like that. and then a 20-cent cardboard insert. That's going to leave us with $5.60 per unit. Our SG&A, we're thinking about a very low cost for that. We're not going to have too many legal expenses or anything at the start, but we are going to have a website. That's our landing page, so it's going to cost about $25 a month currently. We'll do a quick tour of our website. Currently our website is just a landing page. So we start off with, we went for something a little bit more simple, just the replacement for expensive slip-resistant shoes, something to hook the customers, and then a small description. We have an About Us tab that's describing the class that we're in, the incubator class, and then a Contact Us where you can contact us by email. So that's all we have currently, but we're hoping that we can expand it to an online store or any sort of links to where we could buy our product. That's where they could access it. Let me pull this cast back up. And then our revenue streams. Let me find that real quick. All right, so we're going to start with general sales. That'd be things like selling from our website, selling from Amazon. That's just buying our initial product, but we're hoping to expand into our product line. That would be things like we're thinking about doing things to help protect your shoe. So if you had a shoe like this, obviously this canvas would start to get wet if you were to use it in a food service workplace or anything like that. So we could do things like waterproofing with our branding, scuff resistance, things like that, things that would help you protect the shoe that you wear to work so it's still fashionable and it doesn't look bad or trashy. And we also have been researching this past week into some new markets. We found out that $16 billion a year is spent on slip, trip, and fall related accidents in every workplace across the United States. So we think that our product could now be found in literally any workplace because it would just save the company money on payouts for things like, if your custodial staff forgot to put out a wet floor sign, somebody falls, and all of a sudden you have to pay out $100,000 to somebody because they were injured in your buildings. That also leads to things like government contract. Government pays out thousands and thousands of dollars to people that were injured in the workplace. So if they put our product on their workers in their government buildings, they could save lots of money.
All right, so for our MVP, we chose to do a prototype, which is what you see here. It's just an everyday shoe with the tread SlideStop that we applied to the bottom of it. As well, we chose to do an explainer video.
Sorry, it's got to pull up here on YouTube. This isn't our video. This is a video in the style that we would do. The Wi-Fi isn't working, so we're going to go ahead and skip the video. But
So in our video, in this video, it shows animations of the dangerous things that buildings can do, like dropping glass and such. And so we would use the same animation process because, frankly, we can't exactly just afford, as 3 high school students, we can't afford to go around and hand out just examples of this because this was $20 to do, just by hand, and we can't afford that. So we would choose an animation video that we could show accidents happening in the workplace, even though they're not actually happening, because we don't want to we don't want to go through the process of having people act out physical harm.
And then we move on to our funding tab. This is the funding that would go towards implementing a new MVP. So we have one made currently, but that's from a shoe that we had laying around. So altogether, we're thinking about $70 just for new shoes, the rubber that we'd have to put on the bottom of it, and then $20 for the cement that we would use to bond the rubber to the shoe. So that would be the only funding we need to implement our current MVP because most of the explainer video presentation software is free. But that's going to be all for us, and we were wondering if you guys had any questions.
Just real quick, I meant to say that at the beginning. The presentations are right around 10 minutes like that, but then there's also time built in, 5 to 10 minutes for the panel to ask any questions, or anybody in the room to ask any questions that you'd like to ask.
I'll start. I'll break the ice. Y'all have candy for me? I gave y'all candy. Come on.
No, sir, I'm
Supposed to
sorry.
find me candy.
I'm sorry, I'm broke.
So, two things, I guess. One is I heard it's fashionable.
Yes, sir.
I gotta tell you, just looking at the prototype, I don't see it. I can't see it.
Well, see, this one wasn't based towards fashion. This one was just based to show what the product would look like. This is just my shoe. I mean, it's clearly not fashionable.
It's hard to make that look
Yeah.
fashionable.
Yeah, it's old. It was, whatever it was fashionable.
The whole point is our product doesn't affect the look of your shoe at all.
Yeah.
So if you have a shoe that you think looks good, a loafer that you wish you could wear somewhere, where there's always slips and things like that, then you can apply our product and it won't change the look of your shoe at all. But you'll still have that safety guaranteed.
I think that's the angle I'd go for in the presentation, that you may love that shoe and think it's very fashionable. You don't have to change that shoe.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Your fashion is what?
That's what we think we have over companies like CrewGuard that have the overshoe, and it completely takes away from the look of the shoe. If you wear your favorite pair of running shoes to work with one of those, they're not going to look anywhere the same. But if you were to put our product on a shoe like that, it wouldn't change the look of the shoe at all.
So two things, right, I think that's one of them. And the second one is, it makes that shoe last longer, right? Makes your money go further. You already spent $50 on the shoe, whatever you spent.
Yeah.
Right? So to me, that's your value.
Yeah, and I think
Spin your fashion a little bit different.
yeah.
You like your shoe, keep your shoe. You don't have to go buy a new shoe. Put this thing on it, you can make it extend the life.
And I think that also leads to like the expansion of the product line that we were talking about. Because if you wear a shoe like that you enjoy to work, it can become dirty or scuffed or anything quite quickly. So if you buy if we offer some sort of protection kit, whether it be waterproofing or helping to protect from scuffs and stuff like that, then we can extend the life of a shoe. And I think it's a pretty good marketing tactic.
So second thing I would say, and I didn't see it, maybe I missed it, is marketing expense and sales expense. So maybe I missed it in there somewhere and we have it buried in another.
Was that an SG&A?
What's that? Was it in there? I
I
didn't.
didn't see it particularly.
Yeah.
No, we didn't have that in our SG&A.
Because so when you're trying to market to, I forget what your number was, 1 million people or whatever it was. It ain't gonna be that. You can't walk around and knock on the door at every McDonald's, right? You gotta figure out how you're gonna market to them and what that's gonna cost you. There's gonna be an expense there and you're gonna have a sales expense there at some point. So those are the other, my 2 cents of information. I think you're a little low on your website costs. I'll just go ahead and tell you because your app, you guys know I spoke to you about it, right? On the app side, you sign up for Shopify or WooCommerce, or whatever, it's gonna cost you a little bit more. But your marketing expense, you gotta figure out, get a bit of a better handle on that.
Gotcha.
So with your target market, where do these people work right now?
Currently, food service, so that's going to be things like your chain restaurants, your kitchen, things like, your small mom and pop restaurants, or
Any of you guys work in those?
all 3 of us.
Have done that, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And when you go there and you get hired, they tell you, you gotta buy shoes, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So do they tell you, here's the kind that we allow?
A lot of the times they'll hand you a catalog. So what we were thinking was we could get into one of these catalogs as one of the options. So, you could buy this $80 pair of slip-resistant shoes from the catalog, or you could buy this product and, turn
You're
your
gonna have to approve it. Somebody at
Yeah,
Wendy's, McDonald's, Fats, name it, right?
absolutely.
How do you do that?
I guess we'd a good old-fashioned call and work out, whether it be, giving, profit margins to them, in some form or fashion, but at least, to start to get the name out there, it would be worth it.
So you think you're gonna have to demonstrate to them that it works as well as your competitor?
Yes, absolutely.
That's gonna cost you some money to do, right? The other thing was, how do you get it off?
It's supposed to last around 6 months, so, if we offered a product that came with it, to remove the adhesive, it would be something that we'd have to develop with the company that made the adhesive. So that way, the adhesive would stay on with, regular oil and stuff like that, but it would come off with the product that we offer. But generally, we don't want it to be coming off too easy, because in the workplace, if that could become a hazard.
So it's not gonna wear perfectly even is what my point is on the bottom of the shoe, correct?
Mhm. Depending on the shoe, if you have a more flat shoe, it'll wear a little bit, but if you have something that has, some sort of curvature to it and things like that.
So you're gonna just put another one on top of the one that's 6 months old, or do you have to take the old one off?
Yeah,
or-
you'd have to take the old one off.
So you did bring up another thing too. You do have a liability issue, right?
Yes.
So you're gonna have to figure out some insurance costs. Because if that thing does come unglued and I trip because the flap slaps down, you got some liability costs there. So you mentioned that, right, as, hey, what happens if the thing starts to come unglued kind of thing. So I would just also call some insurance agents. I don't know, I'm not an insurance guy, but you're definitely gonna
You're gonna
have
have that liability.
some liability costs there. Gotcha. As much as, and can you, names again? Caleb, I got.
Jordan.
Jordan, okay. Yeah, Jordan. Thanks.
So what if you're like the dog that chases the car and catches it, and McDonald's says, yeah, you're in the catalog? What's your ramp-up strategy?
We'd start, I guess, by calling a company that could manufacture these for us. Like, we're already trying to get in contact with some companies that'll do the treads for us. So, I mean, we'd have to take out some sort of loan and hire a workforce, I would suppose, to, start to package the products and get them out as fast as, as quick as we could.
And did you establish a retail price?
We're hoping for a price point of $20.
Okay, and going back to the question about the other expenses, what's your fully loaded cost for, let's say, the first 1,000? Because as you get bigger, the cost per unit will go down.
Yeah.
What's your fully loaded cost? Do you
For
know?
1,000 units to start, it'd be $5,600.
1,000 units?
Yes, sir.
And that includes marketing expense and sales
No,
expense?
that's just
and-
cost of goods sold.
That's just cost of goods.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So we have to factor in.
It's not
marketing,
cost of
so-
goods sold.
But yeah, no, we haven't factored into that in the price just yet.
Okay, you might want to look at
Yeah,
that.
absolutely.
It's kind of what I told you guys when you're going forward, right? So it's one thing to, if you get on Amazon, you could, in theory, go from 0 to 1,000 really fast. And so I think I told somebody else this too, right, when I was talking. You gotta figure out how you can go from, it's okay to produce 5,600. How you gonna produce 20,000, 30, 40, 50,000 if you're successful, right? And so that's something else. And I know you guys are looking at Alibaba. That's one of the other thing I warn you about Alibaba, because I just read about this the other day, be very careful because they will steal your idea and then put it right back out there. So, just be very careful. So then that brings me on, so legal fees.
Yeah.
You gotta get a lawyer that understands IP rights across boundaries, and I'm guessing you're gonna manufacture these probably
In China.
in China. You need to understand all the intellectual property laws and stuff like that, try to protect what you're gonna pack, so to speak.
Absolutely. Anything else?
Yeah, I got it. So during the course of your presentation, one thing that I noticed is you started talking a little bit about the company, about other things that you could do. I would stay on product in my presentation because, the different products that you see on the horizon really are not applicable to this presentation. So you kind of veered from what you're selling to what your company could be. So I would focus more on the actual product.
Keep a maniacal focus on that product.
And then the other thing that I would look at is on the, another comment that was made was with regard to liability. There was kind of a comment that, hey, you can save yourself all these liability costs by doing this. I'd stay off of that too, because you can't, your product can't insure anything from anybody.
Yeah.
Other than you provide a product that serves a specific function. It keeps people from slipping. It replaces a competitor. And then that was another last question I had is, you said that thing in the last 6 months. What is your competitors refresh on that? How long does those things last?
Yeah.
Well, it depends on like the maintenance you do. If you keep a shoe clean, it can last you a good several months, but most people don't take the time to clean. And I've went through 4 pairs of shoes for work in the past year, just because they're under such high stress. It's a bit of an extreme condition for most shoes. So whenever you're paying $60 for a new set of shoes every couple months, we think it's quite the selling point that you could pay half to a third of that for our product.
And then this is the final thing. What I would do when I was talking about the MVP is give some, you don't have to say July 1st or September 23rd or whatever, but I would give, if I said go tomorrow, what would be your implementation rollout? 2 weeks from go, a month from go, 2 months from go? Give some hard hurdles that you want to have with the rollout of the product.
Gotcha.
And that's something we're gonna be doing next week in class.
Okay.
So if it's not good, we'll blame Mike the next time.
Well, all right, guys, thank you. Did I cut somebody off, Jason? Was you saying something else?
Mr. Graham does.